Hey guys, this is Jay Calder with JAYONBOXING here giving you a personal prediction for Efe Ajagba versus Joseph Goodall. And as always, this is just my take, of course. Your predictions can be left down in the comments section below. Would love to hear them all. And a little bit of fight info here. We have Efe Ajagba taking on Joseph Goodall. This will be at the TAHOE Blue Event Center in Lake Tahoe, Nevada, airing live on ESPN in the heavyweight division with no titles on the line. You know, heavyweight is a weird division as it currently stands. The top has a lot of big money-making fights and some fighters that can certainly draw, certainly more than it had maybe 10 or 15 years ago where Vladimir Klitschko was kind of the dude and that was it. Certainly involves more fighters. Yet, as those stars get a bit older and begin to dwindle just a bit, we still find ourselves looking for the next big names to kind of come and take over. For a bit, it felt like Ajagba could be one of those guys with the power that he yields and the kind of exciting style that he has. However, as he and his performances seem more questionable as of late, it becomes a little bit harder to see that taking place. Still, Ajagba is looking to try and answer some of those questions, and up next is whether or not he can beat the guy in Joseph Goodall that defeated him as an amateur. In Goodall, you have a powerful but mostly limited puncher, but someone that might hold that psychological edge in their upcoming encounter. So, does Ajagba continue to rebuild, or will Goodall repeat that amateur success? Let's break this one down. Starting with Ajagba here, for Efe to win, you want to work the overhand right. Now, this is going to be done for a couple of reasons. Goodall gets ragged at times and will sometimes allow for those kind of shots to come in, especially when he starts really letting his hands go. He's sort of a sucker for that right hand, especially if it's arced a bit over the top. When Goodall's a bit more offensive-minded, that's certainly a time when Ajagba can make him pay with one of those powerful shots. He also likes to throw an uppercut, a right-handed uppercut does Goodall, and that certainly leaves him vulnerable when he kind of tilts into it a bit more for that right hand. If Ajagba can kind of time that shot or sense it, even kind of feint it out of him or jab it out of him, then he can land that right hand. Ajagba has a good right hand. It's kind of his bread and butter. So it's certainly a shot you want to get going anyway. Use those jabs, use those feints, time that uppercut, and certainly try to catch Goodall when he's more offensive minded, and you should have some success with that shot. I would also say keep the jab busy. As I mentioned there, the jab is going to be important for you in terms of setting up that overhand right, or any kind of right hand for that matter, any kind of power shot, but it's also going to set up a lot of the other work you're looking to try and land to begin with. What's more, the jab can be used as a sort of range finder and keep some distance. Again, Goodall wants to come in, make it a bit more rough. You want to keep him from doing that. So keep him at that distance to set up some of your shots you can punch through, as opposed to trying to let him inside and giving him his best chance. It allows you to score, kind of tire out the more aggressive, perhaps, fighter in the process, and then make him pay when he tries to step in, timing those shots like the right hand that we mentioned, and that can begin with the jab. And finally, for Efe Ajagba here, don't get complacent. You don't want to get into a war or a slugfest, and that's Goodall's best chance, so you have to be switched on at all times. You don't want to take rounds for granted, you don't want to take moments for granted. This is heavyweight boxing, and if you allow him to kind of land that one or two single shots that potentially gives him more openings, you're going to make this fight a lot harder for yourself than you need to. So certainly, you're going to want to make sure you're staying switched on. You also don't want to assume you can just coast to a win. Again, Goodall is a busy fighter. He likes to keep pushing. Until you give him reason not to, until you tame him, he is going to keep coming in this fight, and you want to make sure that you get to that as soon as possible and keep him in his place. Set up your work. Again, landing that jab, finding your range. Keep your hands moving, but do it in a smart way, including using those feints and the jabs to set up the right hand, and then continue that into the fight without thinking that you have it kind of in the bag, so to speak, and then giving him his best opportunities. Now, switching over to Goodall. For Goodall to win, you want to let your hands go. In my opinion, you don't, if you're Goodall, want a boxing match. You want to land some hurt. Yes, Ajagba has some power, pretty good power to begin with, but you have to take some risks to make this your fight. You have to be willing to get in there and let your hands go to make sure you can put some hurt on him, and this will do a lot of things for you. The more you throw, the more you're going to make Ajagba throw. Give him less time to think, and you can exploit that. Ajagba is not someone who comes across to me as a natural boxer. He has to put thought into what he is doing. When you can take that play away from him by just simply having to make him throw his shots, you can then take advantage of it. Yes, there will be the risk, but it's heavyweight boxing. There's always going to be a risk. Both have power. So it really does come down to who makes their shots count the most, who can get to them the quickest, and then who can continue that as the fight progresses. I would also say find your way inside. Your reach is unfound on the internet. I couldn't really get into it, but you're an inside fighter in style anyway, so it doesn't really matter. You're going to want to get in close regardless. That's just in your nature. But this can benefit you. Again, I think Ajagba has a solid jab, perhaps a little bit better a jab than you at times, or at least will use it more as he has recently. But you can get inside and begin to tire him when you force a fight out of him. Again, yes, it is a risk. You're stepping into that power potentially, but that's what it's going to take for you to win this fight. Once you're inside, you can throw to the body, sap some of that energy out of him, some of the power that we've mentioned out of him. And then once you get in there in that range, you can begin to throw that uppercut that you like to throw the most, that you can throw from a relatively safe distance without worrying so much about what's coming back. And as mentioned, land the right uppercut. That's the shot I think that for you is probably your number one weapon, and it's certainly going to be in this fight if you can get it going. Especially if you set it up with those body blows that we mentioned, kind of make him hunch over a bit. He might even kind of lurch into the shot a bit, and that can definitely benefit how much power you're able to put on it. Also, once he's used to you coming forward, if you can take that little brief half step back and make him fall into the shot, it's again all the more powerful because it's kind of giving you that double impact. It's one of your best shots, certainly a shot you're going to have to make count and score for you. You'll just have to be mindful of the right hand counter, specifically over the top. As I mentioned for Ajagba, that's certainly a punch he's going to want to land, and it can land when you're throwing that uppercut if you're too far out. You want to be within a safe range to be able to do it quickly, then reset before giving him the chance to make you pay for any potential mistakes. Now, in terms of my pick, this is one that I considered for a while, but eventually I settled on Ajagba. Now, in order for that to be true, however, Efe needs to keep his punches busy and kind of dialed in. He needs to keep Goodall at bay. Then, when he gets aggressive and tries to come forward and rush and make something happen, Ajagba can land those right hands that can really hurt him. Goodall is susceptible to a right hand, especially when he throws that uppercut, and I think he will try to throw that in this fight. And when he leans too much into it, just with those feints on the inside and those kind of blows that Ajagba is looking for, he'll be able to let that right hand launch, ultimately causing a stop to this contest. I think Ajagba gets the job done with that right hand in those middle frames. Winner, Efe Ajagba via mid-fight stoppage. And in terms of the betting odds here, we have Efe Ajagba coming in at a -850, with Goodall coming in at a +520. Pretty sizable favorite in Ajagba here, and I think that's for good reason. Again, Goodall is a heavyweight who can bang a little bit. You never know, but I do think that Ajagba gets the job done here. So unless you just like calling the upset or the long shot here, doesn't make a lot of sense. But again, small bet on a 5-1 underdog, not the worst thing in the world. In terms of the over-under, haven't been able to find one yet. When I do find one, of course, I'll pin it in the comments below. I'm guessing it'll be around the 8-round mark, but again, hard to say. But in any event, as of now, those are your odds. And my prediction record as of this recording is 33-12 with 22 exact. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Love to hear your thoughts, predictions, bets, so on and so forth. And of course, please be sure to like, share, subscribe, check out all the socials there. And of course, check out JAYONBOXING.com for schedule, results, betting odds, rankings, grades, all that good stuff. And as always, until next time.